This is stone soup. The sun, it was low on a warm summer day. A traveller was seeking a place he could stay, thinking he'd have to sleep under a tree. Alone in a clearing a maid he did see. With twinkle in eye he then stopped her to ask, how was she doing and what was her task? Firewood, she answered, I need for my fire. What brings you here and what is your desire? With a smile to warm winter the traveller described how he'd walked all the day and now he was tired. Searched and searched, but try as he might, not found a house he could stay for the night. The maid laughed and said he'd best be on his way, with so little time to find somewhere to stay. At their eyes they had met and the dance had begun. With no time at all the maid would succumb. Talked as they walked about places he'd been. He'd travelled the world, so much he had seen. He'd walked all the day and was hungry and tired. Hungry as well, the maid grinned and enquired. No food in my house, I've not eaten all day. You'll not get fed here if you choose to stay. Yonder that cottage is mine over there. Be mindful your night will be spent in a chair. But his eyes saw her garden, she wasn't so poor. She'd sweets and onions and many things more. Beyond in the fields he spotted a cow. He'd get her to feed him and he knew just how. He said, sit you down and some soup I will make. She answered, I told you and make no mistake. There's nothing to eat here in my humble home. He smiled and said, watch, I'll make soup from a stone. He put water to heat in a pot on the fire, then went to her garden, a stone for to find. In went the stone and he started to stir. She watched in silence and he smiled at her. How will it taste, she asked after a while. Delicious, he answered, no soup is so fine. Of course it tastes better with an onion or two, but as we've no onions we'll have to make do. She said, I might find you an onion to use, then went to her garden and came back with two. They went into the pot with the water and stone. The traveller stirred and the maid she looked on. This soup will be good, of that there's no doubt. It's better with beef, but we'll do without. She said, maybe I have a little red beef, and came back with some in a fine handkerchief. This soup will be good, of that there's no doubt. It's better with sweet, but we'll do without. My garden has sweets, the woman replied, holding two fine ones returned from outside. In went the sweets with the onion and beef. The stone, its presence now stretching belief. The traveller stirred and the woman looked on. Along with her interest, her hunger had grown. This soup will be good, but to be at its best, a sprinkle of barley would bring out the taste. For he could say more, the host settled off, returning with barley to put in the pot. The traveller stirred and with tongue smooth as silk, said it would taste better if it had some milk. The maid, now thoughtful and furrowed of brow, left and returned after she'd milked the cow. In went the milk with the barley and sweet, the beef and the onions, the stone that we need. Tasted the soup and he said, could you bring some salt, and this soup will be fit for a king. Then I'll put some salt in, she sprang to her feet. The salt was stirred in and she asked, can we eat? Yes, said the traveller, I'll take the stone out. Be fit for a king then, of that there's no doubt. But along with fine soup a king would have more, said the maid as she carried fine foods from her store. Fresh bread and pickles and meat for to eat, the feast now befitting a right royal treat. The traveller asked her, now how is the soup? Delicious, she answered, so easily duped. He said for her kindness in letting him stay, he'd leave her the stone when he left the next day. Said that way you'll not go hungry again. But do not forget, he went on to explain, to add in some onions, some beef and some sweet. Then barley and milk will be all that you need. They talked and they talked till the food was consumed. Again their eyes met and the dance it resumed. She said, for your gift and for all you have said, As reward for your kindness, come sleep in my bed. But when the morn came, as is often the case, after the dance and the thrill of the chase, the maid she looked called up like some kind of crone. She was the dog now and he was the bone. As you well know, all is not what it seems. I'm the witch of the woods, not the maid of your dreams. Curse be upon you for all the maids duped, with silver tongue lying and watery soup. It's time for you, traveller, to be on your way. Before you set off, I have something to say. A spell I have cast will help you atone. A small part of you will today turn to stone.